Oh, great. Perfect timing. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So if there's no other nominations, we have 2 people running then?
Yep.
Tom and Travis?
Yes.
Brian, who's the other person besides Travis?
Tom.
Oh, thank you.
Great. So if you'll go ahead and write your vote down, and then Dana will collect them and we'll count and let people know.
Help. No speeches, no campaign.
Me?
No.
Sure, thank you, Billy. Oh, sorry.
Let's go deliberate.
In the pause too, I should ask. Dim room kind of puts me to sleep, so I opened up all these things, but then I realized, well, can anybody see anymore? How's it? Would you rather have it closed or open anymore? Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Put those out there for full disclosure so nobody thinks we're trying to
Put the books.
put the books.
Well,
It's in the verse.
Okay. And did I get everybody? Are they up here? Here, you want to do the paper ones and I'll do the online ones.
Mark.
Okay, the names of the nominees, Tom Gazarovski, who is Town of Eagle, and Travis Elliott, Town of Parachute.
Lower, yeah. Just keep it going. Yeah.
Dana, can you remind us, is this term 2 years from this vote?
Yes. Okay, so we have 4 Tom because we have okay. So we have all And then online. Did everyone online that has a vote put in their vote? I think so. Yep, we're good on that.
Okay, great. So we do have a new chair, and I'd like to let Tom know he is the new chair for the TPR. Thanks, Travis, for putting your name in the hat. It was actually really close, very close. So thank you all for voting.
Can I keep those, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Those.
Did Dominion go through that?
Questioning our voting techniques
Yeah,
here?
no.
If we do that, it's gonna take months.
Well, I appreciate you all doing that. Tom, your next stack meeting is
In
May-
person.
May 7th in person at headquarters, and there'll be an officer election. They'll be looking for a co-chair of stack at that time. And if you want to talk about that, be happy to talk to you about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll also be going to that one in person, Tom. So if you want to carpool, whatever.
Thank you all. Can I just say, I mean, I've been involved here at the TPR, not as long as Brian or Bentley, but quite a while, over 20 years now. And, you know, it's been a great thing. I really believe in the work that we do here. I was a strong supporter of keeping the TPR together rather than splitting it. I know we were a little split on that issue, but I think we're stronger together. Hope it stays that way. And really look forward to you know, working with this group and the staff, and excited about it. It's going to be great. So thank you.
Thank you.
You say that now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Great. Anything else before we move on? Any questions online? Everybody keeping up?
Nothing online.
All right. Let's go to CDOT updates. First is a county meeting discussion or update.
Come on down if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Go through this pretty quick.
And again, for CDOT folks, anything else that's come up that you think this group ought to be aware of or know about, this would be a great time to disclose that. But Mark, it's yours.
So again, just real quick, Brian, I want to thank you for the opportunity, since I have a minute, for all the patience you've shown me over the 21 years I've worked, and just have enjoyed it. And honestly, I don't think I've ever heard you tell a story, period. And you missed your calling. So that was great. Anybody can have an experience, but that was a great story.
Thank you.
So let me figure out how to get this moving and advance this stuff a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the whole slide by slide, but I want to announce that we are having our county meetings. We've talked to each of the counties through Jason Smith, our RTD. His admin is working with all the counties. Right now, we have Eagle scheduled for June 9th from 3 to 4. Summit on April 29th, 10:30 to 11. We go a little longer, but maybe we're just holding it to an hour. Maybe we've gotten enough done to where we can just do it in an hour. And then Pitkin is May 26th from 2 to 3. So those are the three we have. Since nobody really had seen these, I thought I'd go through a few of the slides, really kind of focus on the funding, because I know that's what the TPR, a lot of you have, and even at the county meetings, this has been a huge question. A lot of it because the road and bridge departments of all the counties and cities now are kind of hitting some of the same situations CDOT has. We're really looking at, okay, what's going on? So we usually get caught up in those questions a lot. So I thought, you know, when we had a chance to talk about this, it'd be a good opportunity here to talk about it. And then also at the county meetings, we're looking to hear from the counties as well. So if we kind of talk about this a little bit, then we can also hear from the counties. And just again, for those counties who haven't scheduled it, Garfield and Lake, we can get with Jason or Jason's admin or work through that way to get that taken care of.
Will the CDOT team be at these meetings in person?
Yes. Yeah, I'm just going to go over the funding, which is what I know. I'll go the slides should be sent to everybody so you can kind of have a full preview. But because my role usually is talking about funding, that's usually what I focus in on. Again, this first group of slides, just the agenda, what Region 3 usually has. And again, Region 3 is the biggest geographically, and we got a lot of assets we got to maintain. And that's one of the other things, you were talking about, there was a time when CDOT had money to give to locals. There was times when the assets didn't cost what they do. And that's the other thing that we're facing on some of those things is just the funding and everything else that goes with it. Again, we'll talk a little bit about the people that we have serving and working with CDOT. But again, my focus is on the sources of the funding, and really what we're looking at when we look at the resources is we're looking at funding that does come into CDOT in general. So we're looking at our federal program. Everything in orange is what comes to CDOT. Advance a little bit so you can see the whole slide there. Everything in orange is what comes into CDOT. 1.6 billion is expected in this fiscal year. Our federal program and our state program are right, pretty much coming neck and neck, where we used to be about 50-50 on federal. And it looks like we're still kind of there. They broke out the general fund and our other state funds a little bit differently. But again, all these funds come into CDOT. The highway users tax fee for the federal program is still the 18.4 cents per gallon. And this is what, for everybody who kind of knows, this is from the 1993 or so is when that was changed. Our state gas tax is 22 cents a gallon. Again, this is from 1992, 93 as well. So those funds haven't changed. We do have other fees. We have a fuel tax fee, our faster fees, vehicle registration, and retail delivery fee. And we'll get a little bit more into that in the later slides. But yeah, right now, those are the biggest sources of income for CDOT. Our general fund, we get a general fund transfer that helps pay down our bond, our debt, which we encumbered in 2019, 2020. And then there's also some capital development fees and some other things, but it's a small amount. And then other state funds, there's some fees and some other programs that have come in to CDOT. And so that comes up with the other 6.8%. But this is the CDOT funds. The other funds are the enterprise funds. So these funds are specifically directed to either the clean enterprise, transit, very specific bridge and tunnel. These are the ones the commission still oversees both of these funds, but they do break it out because the enterprise funds are dealt with a little differently and a little different budget. And then, so total, I think it's about a $2.2 billion budget. But yeah, we could bring some of those numbers. But that's why you have this chunk in orange and then the other funding. So any questions about the revenue in general? Okay, again, we'll talk a little bit more about that again. So it was 2.3, so it was about 700 million that comes to the enterprises.
Hey, one question.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I can remember when it used to be like 1.2 billion.
Yeah, that was
budget.
one, yeah.
Yeah, and how much does it, on average grow each year? How much is the CDOT budget?
Not much. We can get into that, but again, some of it's federal growth due to other things. You're right. During the late 2000, early 2010, 2012, we were at the $1.2 billion budget, It has since grown. Some of these other fees have added to that, but the HUTF really hasn't grown that much, and we'll talk about that. But as far as a percentage, I can't tell you. So as far as the uses go, our biggest outlay is for the capital construction management. The capital construction, this is our asset management program, our safety program, our RPP, or even strategic initial construction. So if we're going out doing reconstruction, new construction, this is all that. $856 million budget there is what's expected. And that is a big chunk of that is federal dollars that we go in and match. We have to have about a 20% match to most projects. And so a lot of our state money, to be able to maximize that federal allocation and get those federal funds, we have to have those state funds to match those, which is becoming more and more important because a lot of maintenance, which is our next one, the $475 million, that mostly cannot receive any federal funds. There are some federal funds that go to maintenance, but those are specific. But most of this maintenance and operations, those are all required to be state funds. The federal funds do not pay for a lot of maintenance. So all of our state dollars now are becoming very valuable as far as what we can put to maintenance, or it used to be but now we really have to choose. Are we going to maximize federal dollars, or are we going to really put a lot more to maintenance dollars? And the cost of product is going up, and so now it's even getting more and more difficult on that. So the really, when we look at how we fund projects, we're getting very choosy and saying, okay, we can only do this with state funds or only do this with federal, because we have to do our best to maximize those dollars. And I know a lot of you guys sometimes have to make those same decisions. Going forward, this is going to get a lot more restrictive, at least for a little bit. And then throughout the circle, the other issue we have, our sub-allocated program. So the sub-allocated program are money that comes in either from federal or the state that goes right back out to either local programs or local aviation or other things. It used to be the local funds we would just have tapped, but now with MMOF, we have some other issues, and our local agency program has grown, which has been great for local agency projects. But a lot of this still, our management at CDOT, we get a little bit of that MMOF, but we don't take any of the federal TAP funding for our own work or anything to help these projects out and manage these projects. So again, we have the sub-allocated program, which has grown. I think that's actually been one of our biggest growth, Tom, is in that sub-allocated programs and funding that's come that direction. And then the debt service, I think our debt service was between 45 and 50, which is what the general fund kind of comes in and brings in.
Mark, when you talk about these various buckets, we look at RPP funds. Can those be dispersed within almost all the buckets since it's managed locally?
That's an interesting question, because RPP, when it started out, was technically to go to fairly new construction and on system.
Yep.
There used to be an off system RPP that went away fairly quickly. But RPP pretty much right now just fills in gaps. Regional Priority Program is actually funding that the Transportation Commission provides. It's not a state fund. It can be state federal mix, but it's a set aside that the commission does. It's $50 million a year, and right now that is the most flexible funding. A lot of our asset management projects, a lot of our safety programs, the faster safety program, those all have serious restrictions. And I'm putting my back to people. I'm sorry. They do have restrictions and qualifications for projects you can put those funds to. The RPP funds are most flexible, so we can put that to, like, sometimes guardrail, sometimes, filling in the gaps to help the project become whole. And that's honestly a lot what RPP has done. And so when we come to the TPR to prioritize, we look at, okay, we prioritize the 10-year plan, the strategic projects, we prioritize these other things, and then the RPP is either used for design to get these projects ready to go to add for right of way or for other things, or to help a lot of those. So it's still a prioritization that we work through in the TPR, but then we have to look at, okay, how can we make sure this balance and get these projects out? So still, a lot of the RPP is used for those efforts, either for design or make a project whole in those strategic efforts. Any other questions on this? Okay, so again, we have administration, the multimodal services. That's mostly the budget or the Mustang and other transit projects that we have. State and local revenue. And this one has the counties have really talked a lot about. I go through this a lot during these county meetings. You'll notice the top line there, the biggest line, the motor fuel taxes is flat. That is not expected to grow because basically the biggest growth comes when gas is fairly cheap because it is a price per gallon. Again, it's not really percentage wise of anything. That is the price per gallon. So when gas is cheaper, people tend to drive more, use more gas. And so what you're seeing is fairly flat. Brian, you've seen this for years, is just expected to stay flat. Where we see our increases in some of the registration fees, the faster collections, the road usage fees, some of these other fees that have come up in the recent years. And so that's where you kind of see a growth. You do see a projected growth to go along there. Some of the other growth, when you look at this, and again, this is just the state HUTF. When you look at the disbursements, the first one is the off the top, and that grows at 6% every year. The off the top goes to the Department of Revenue for driver's licenses, for licensing, and also for the state patrol and the port of entries and a few other things. That off the top grows about 6% every year. The CDOT, then we get our 60%, and then the state, and then the counties and the cities get their 20% each. And that's rough numbers, but that's the state HUTF. That's what typical is what it's been, is 60, 20, 20. And again, it is showing a projected growth in a way, but again, that's not because of the fuel tax. That's basically just a small growth every year. And again, in counties, so we've met with Jackson County. They've talked that all of a sudden their road and bridge department, which was really doing great, that was probably one of the better departments in their county. Now they're really suffering, again, because of the cost of equipment, the cost of materials, and the cost of the staffing now has started to eat away at any balance that they've had. Gunnison County, they have actually a really interesting website that they're going to try and do a ballot measure to get a little extra funding for their road and bridge. They have about $50-some million of delayed projects on their local systems. This is not on our system. This is all off system. They're looking into that. So if you guys are interested in that, you can go to Gunnison County and you can see where they talk about things they've had to delay because of their road and bridge. And I don't know how many other counties are kind of facing this and looking at things. I know the cities and others, they're looking at this. At the Northwest TPR meeting, I've been talking to them about different options and different strategies because they're all kind of looking at the same situation. Just things are getting tighter across the board. And so when we've gone through this, some of the counties have been kind of interested in talking about this and just seeing the projections. This is one of the reasons we really bring this up at the county meetings, because this is our one pot that we really share and we really talk about and work on. So any questions about this? And Tom, I don't know if this helps answer some of your questions.
I mean, it's interesting to look at which of these categories grow, which don't, and by how much. And yeah, I will say it's interesting to think about the the licensing fees that we're adding, registration fees that we're adding on recent years, and how specifically those are targeted. Great purposes. Doesn't really help CDOT out in any way.
Well,
Which
what's
is unfortunate,
interesting,
yeah.
what's interesting, so those faster safety fees, even the states, even the counties, all those fees go into the HUTF. For the faster safety program, we have qualifications we have to put to projects. And as the roads become safer in Region 3, we actually get less and less faster safety allocation, and they have become safer in Region 3 compared to other regions. And again, all disbursements go to regions first before anything else. So like faster safety or RPP, everything is based on a region level, and then we break it out per TPR if necessary. But like the faster safety, that just is strictly qualification. Our bridge program is strictly, it's not an allocation by TPR, it's strictly to the asset management the investor can do. So, yeah, any other questions? Yeah.
I always, every year when that American Society of Civil Engineers or whatever it is, puts out the report card on state by state gaps in funding or infrastructure.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of those numbers? Is that like a useful thing? I mean, I'm often kind of rebroadcasting that because it's.
No, and I appreciate that. Again, I've talked about this for years. To me, it's very interesting. I see those states that have, and you can see the roads. I mean, it's not hard to see those states that have and those that haven't. But again, that's not really my job here. I'm just kind of showing.
I mean, more like, when you look at those numbers, are those real numbers to you? Do you take those as good numbers?
I do.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
without a doubt.
what-
I take them as real numbers. I take them as what you can and can't do on the roads, and yeah, I take them as real.
Okay, thank you. I like it because they do remind people this is certain choice.
Well, what I really like most, and again, I have to tread a thin line between what I say and politics, but what I really like most, when I fill up at gas stations in other states and I see a sticker on there saying, this is the amount per gallon you're paying in taxes for a state, and this is the amount a gallon you're paying for federal. And I see that in other states, and it's like there's an awareness. The gas tax is very much a hidden fee. You pay it, you don't even know because it's paid really at the distributor. You're not seeing it on your bills. And that is something that I have seen really in other states I travel in that really impresses me on that.
Thank you.
How much more time do you need?
I can be just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't
That's
mean
okay.
to take this
No,
long. We
that's
have
all
our long-range plan, our 10-year plan we can talk about. The only thing I want to bring up again is the asset management. Again, we have over 20,000 culverts within Region 3. Our culvert allotment for 28-29 is about 8.2 million. That's not regional, that's statewide. We get between 1.5 and 2 million a year for 20,000 culverts. Our ability to maintain our assets, and that's just one asset, is slowly being eroded over time. And this is some of the things we talk about and go over at the county meetings. We don't like to continue to bring all this up, but I think all the counties are facing the same thing. You know, when Gunnison County talked about their road and bridge and the deferred things that they're doing, then yeah. And so this is kind of what I talked about at the county meetings. It can get a little depressing or whatever you want to call it, but again, I like to bring this up to the whole group in case you're not at the county meeting, in case you have questions about the funding and how the funding is about. But yeah, I can pretty much stop there.
Great. Any questions for Mark about the county meetings in general? Yeah.
Where is I'm sorry, if you go back to the last slide, where is the off the top appropriation set? Like, where is that 6% set?
Okay, so that, I gotta be real careful here because again.
No, say what you really think.
No, I'm not gonna. So, because this is needed, this is legislative. The off the top is set up as a legislative, you can go to the Department of Revenue. This is all very much legislative. They take the off the top and the growth was limited at 6%.
Which I get, but the growth for everything else is limited way below that. And I just don't I mean, I'm not picking a fight. I'm just saying,
No, and I'm not
on the surface, this seems bizarre that administration functions have a set amount and actual roads and culverts do not.
And
Jason, you got something to say?
I'm more protected than he is. I'll put it that way. I'll tell you.
Anyway, I just wanted
But
to
it's a
understand.
tough one. We see that grow every year.
Yeah.
It's a challenge, you know. And it goes with good things, we feel support. But at the same time, we see where.
So the legislature is the ones that have set that, that's it, like statute.
It is statutory?
It is statutory. All the revenue is very much statutory. I've had to go in there, and I think I can even find it on my hard drive at my work computer, because other counties have asked, okay, how is this all set up? How is this breakdown? There's a whole breakdown about how these disbursements are done. And there's that off the top, and there's a limit to what it can grow. But they do say it can only grow by 6%, but it does grow every year.
So that's a limit, but they take it to that limit every year.
Yes.
And is that a annual legislative thing, or is that just a formula?
No, that's written in state statute. They don't revisit that annually.
There's some formula that
There
determines
is
what
a
that number
set,
is.
and I encourage all counties, cities to look at that formula. Not to scan and get frustrated, but to understand. It's very important to know where your paycheck. As a person, I know I like to know where my paycheck comes from. And I don't think that should be any different for any city or county to know, especially for these commissioners whose main job is to look at the roads. At least it used to be, you know where your money is coming from, where your income is coming from, because you got to protect that. So thank you. Sorry if I went a little long, but thank you.
That's all right. Anybody else, even online, any questions? Our county meetings coming up. Hope everybody took note of that timing in your county, and because we'd like to have all the jurisdictions represented at those county meetings. It's not just for the counties, it's for everyone within
Yes.
the county.
The cities, these are actually county commissioner meetings, they're public meetings, and the cities are invited to come. But yeah, we have it at the county commissioner meeting.
That's great. Next is CDOT updates regarding construction. If we have people.
Yeah, I'm gonna present it, just, it's got a
Great.
PowerPoint. just to
Excellent.
present,
Not that.
So we're good.
Oh, shoot. I just had it.
That was it.
Well, Dana's doing this. I'll just,
There it is.
I've got to say a few more things, is her being here is a game changer for the TPR. It's just been night and day from a productivity standpoint. And I want to thank you all for making that happen and allowing that to happen. And thank you, Dana, for taking it on, because otherwise it was really too much from a chairperson standpoint to handle. It was a lot. And Dana's just doing all the
Brian,
work.
you had Ben out there picking up the slack behind the scenes as well.
Exactly, with a
Well, I
full-time
thought I
job.
had
So
it.
now knowing that
Okay, here we go.
this is Dana's focus has really helped out a bunch. Just keep us in line.
Thanks, Dana.
You're welcome.
Just if I can comment, she is, Dana, coming up 80% or more covered by the CDOT grant for mobility, and also by the transit agencies that are big ones that are participating in local batch for that.
Great.
So, yeah.
Hopefully that continues.
Oh, yeah.
Might be easier for me to.
Yeah, if you want to come up here and you can run it yourself.
So I'm Pete Lombardi. I'm a resident engineer. Came in place of Karen, who couldn't be here today. So I'm going to go through the construction design projects for Program East, which is basically east of Glenwood Canyon and east of Independence Pass.
I like your acronym.
Complete project.
Let's see.
So there it goes. Okay. So this coming summer, slow there. Straight Creek, just basically I-70 going up to Eisenhower. They're continuing the culvert repair work. Be the second season of that work. Frisco interchange is going to kick off this year with a 2-year project for those improvements. Westfeld Pass, that work, major work is going to be completed this year. And it's from the 180 to the 190. Eagle to Gypsum, I-70, resurfacing projects between Gypsum and Eagle kick off, I think, next week, depending on the snow. It's a 1-season project for resurfacing the pavement. And then US 24, resurfacing north of Leadville, basically from the interchange of 91 and 24 up to Tennessee Pass, with some other work going all the way to Minturn with some wall improvements, culvert repairs, and some wall replacements. And last but not least is we're going to be putting in 3 chain stations along that stretch, all the way from Minturn, Red Cliff, and then Escondido Flats, if you know where that is. It's past Mountain View, between Tennessee Pass and Leadville. So, and that's another 1-season project. So that's the projects that there's in the east this coming summer. And then design work, I-70 east side of Vail Pass, Wildlife Crossing, no construction dollars yet. Chain stations in Vail, some improvements to those are in the works. I-70 Main Vail Wildlife Fence Project, again, design underway, construction. I cannot see where the construction dollars are.
2027.
Okay. State Highway 9, Green Mountain Reservoir, also called Shale Bluffs. And that's north of Silverthorne, between there and Kremling. State Highway 9, Breckenridge resurfacing, design underway again. Let me see if I can move. There we go. Construction in 27. Red Cliff Arch Bridge rehab is design underway. It's a fairly complicated project, so we're not planning on doing any construction until 2028. US 24 Camp Hale resurfacing project will fill in the gap between this year's US 24 work and the work we did 2 years ago on US 24 with the new pavement, and that's 29 construction. State Highway 82 and 24 roundabout at that interchange to Twin Lakes. Design is underway, mostly just right away cleaning up with railroad, but construction next year in 27. And then I-70 190 to 202, it's basically Vail Pass to Frisco, westbound lanes only, another resurfacing project in those lanes on I-70. And then Eagle County ADA ramps, we did one a few years ago, but as we get funds, we're replacing and improving the ramps in Eagle County. That's another 27 project, planned 27 depending on right away. And that is it. Any questions? Yeah.
On those 24 projects, are either of those resurfacings going to expand what we're with bike access? Or is it pretty much just a like replacement?
No, the work we did 2 years ago increased the roadway width about 2 feet and more. They're looking for it's funding and right of way constraints, but they're looking at all options to do that. And we did it last time 20 years ago. We added onto it, so we continue to try to add on to it. It's not going to be our standard 6 or 8 feet, but we try to do what we can. If there is a stretch there, it's already at 6 feet, just going up the hill. But see what we can do.
Pete, do we also have is this where we have the chain stations?
Chain stations is this year?
No, but isn't that location the same place or no?
No, the chain stations are at, give them more detail, right at Red Cliff. And then Minturn, where we paved a couple years ago, we're going to improve that chain station to chain up and chain down. And then Escondido Flats will be before Sylvan Lakes or before Cooper. So it won't be within these project boundaries.
I just wanted to highlight, again, we try and tie in as many different fund types as we can to get these projects out.
Yes,
Say this, yeah.
There's nine funding sources just in the 24 project I discussed.
Yeah, no, it's more just written out off, you know, the shoulder width kind of meanders a bit on 24 there, so I wasn't sure. More clarity than saying anything's wrong or.
No, we look for opportunities to try to make it, it not only makes it available for more users, but it's safer the wider we have pavement, more, especially behind the white line.
Yeah, much appreciated.
The 82 and 24 roundabout, will they be able to keep full movement through the intersection during that project?
Yes. Yeah, we will not be closing it at all. So it'll be, construction, it will be inconvenience for people, but it'll remain open during that time period.
So if it backs traffic up into Aspen, we know we got a problem.
Oops. Are the Eagle County ADA ramps, are those all on Highway 6? Along Highway 6?
They're trying to scope it right now. I mean, it is pedestrian improvements, so it wouldn't be on I-70, and but we do have 131, 24, Highway 6.
Throughout the entire county.
So that would be, the entire county. So those 4 would be, and then even our spurs under 70 would be susceptible to looking at the ramps.
So I know these are not really necessarily your area, Pete, but they sent you, so I'm going to ask you. And you might, maybe this is a better question for Mark or Jason, but two big ones that are kind of conspicuously absent to me is design years are Glenwood Canyon, and I know there's work going on in the canyon to address bridge joints and address some of the floating bridge rail that exists in there. I can't imagine that what's happening now gets all of that, but maybe I'm wrong. Do you have any knowledge about that?
No, currently it's bridge joint work that's taking place in preparation for a 2-year major project. Can I call it that, Jason? In Glenwood Canyon, it's going to be a multi-year project of doing some significant bridge or pavement, railing, bridge joint or bridge work. It's good, and even some river work. There's going to be a lot that program area is putting into Glenwood Canyon. It's significantly more than what we've done in the past.
Yeah, great. And I know we've been updated on that, and I couldn't remember where that was at. Is that still kind of in the design phase, or is that design complete?
It's in the design phase. Yeah. They should be wrapping that up this fall. We'll have advertisement this year for construction next summer. Like you said, it's a 2-year project. So, we'll be in that canyon quite a bit over the next few years. It's a major work going on. It's not going to do everything. Again, it's still a lot of concrete paving we're trying to do. So, take a lot of that with polyester. But then we're able to get started and do a good chunk of the bridge rail. Our plan dollars now, and so they're working on that and design how to optimize the locations that you're seeing out there right now. A lot of places just basically falling, the rail's falling down.
Yeah.
And so it's like that's all the way through the canyon. So we're trying to figure out how do we focus, the best area strategy.
A bunch of that was packaged up in a big grant that you guys were pursuing. Were you successful on that? I don't remember.
No.
We were never successful in the grant. But we took a lot of money and we're putting about 60 million or so in different colors of funding to that project.
So it'll get us started. Thinking address the worst areas. Like Mark said, we've never been successful in any of our maintenance type asset just repair projects with getting any grant funding. Most of the grants come for things that are kind of new. Like the things that are expansions or something that's a new improvement that helps a community or a better connection. When it comes just to repair an asset, replace an asset that's already there, but not very successful.
Tom, you had another?
Yeah, the other one I want to ask about was which kind of it was a good segue, because it was a grant funded project, was Vail Pass, and obviously wasn't funding for the whole vision there, and we ended up cutting a segment of it out. Is there any pursuit? Like, was there, CDOT looked at doing a build grant application to finish that? Or what's the discussion at the region and headquarters about trying to see some pathway to funding more work on Vail Pass?
Yeah, so we're continuing the design. So what we call phase one, and now we take the first grant package, had 6 packages to it, right? And so 5 of them are getting completed. We have that 6th package right now. We're finishing the design. Unfortunately, we don't have the money to finish it. So that segment is just kind of setting aside, shelving it right now. We have $27 million, I think, in the next 10-year plan to go towards that. That will cover it all. So we are in the background having discussions of how can we couple funds, where can we chase different grant opportunities, and as they present themselves, we chase the best we can. Right now, I don't have a solution to finish that.
Yeah, I mean, it feels a bit dwarf, and I'm glad there's some discussion happening.
I mean, you can tell where we've got the Ox Lane built out now, and it's there. Since the striping right at the moment doesn't look too good. Yeah, it helps once you get up to that top portion and you get that extra lane. So it'd be great to finish that bottom part out and down the bridges. Be really able to utilize the full project and the base template that we have there. Go ahead and expand the roadway to that. So now we don't know. A lot of it depends on what federal grants or what comes out. I don't see we're going to be able to solve the problem. You're hearing all the budget issues we're having at the state level. Unless there's something federally, that see that project.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other program use questions? Thank you for making the presentation. Appreciate it.
Has the guardrail in Little Canyon just gotten horrible the last 12 months, or am I finally just looking at it for the first time?
I think we're seeing a rapid rate of deterioration at that point. I think it's been there and it's slowly been happening over the years, but I think it's just now to the point where it's basically not even holding itself up. I mean,
well, that snow load from last night.
Yeah. Or we laid down this morning.
So I think it's probably a little call, but we're trying to bring awareness to it as well. Right? I talk about it about every meeting I can, whether it's commissioners or in these county meetings. Try to bring awareness to it. I've got an asset here that has no dedicated funding, and it's a tough. At least where there's pavement, we have surface treatment funding. When it comes to the valve stuff, that's more supplemental. It just kind of gets added on to other funding types. In this case, it's such a big need. I can't go out there whenever we're doing a paving project and say, yeah, just fix the rail out there because it's over $100 million. So we won't be doing any service work for the rail.
Jason, I kind of brought this up at the coalition meeting, but related to the rail, it would take a revision of NEPA, right, to change that design from the original to something, in some cases, the curves at least, I know it's about visual aesthetics, not really about, let's say, semi-truck safety. I'm asking.
Yeah, so that was in the document, so that was all through the NEPA process. We'd have to go back and revisit that. If we wanted to change the design and do something different. Now, we could do it in isolated locations, yes, like, or we have discussions with people, the HWA, whenever we were having a series of truck accidents, right? Because the concern was, well, some of these trucks that are going over the edge, do we need to change the rail time out? Is that adequate? And so we started having discussions, and they actually said we could change it out in locations if we saw that there was a need, that we could prove the safety benefit, that, hey, changing it out, raising it, or whatever, or section of it would help prevent these trucks from going over and off. We could do that, but it couldn't be throughout the canyon.
Yeah, but are you considering that when you have a $100 million project for just some of those?
Right now, we're just trying to go back with what's there. So Nolan's program area, a few years back, they redid the design. sent it off to be crash tested. Got that done and approved through FHWA, the MASH testing required. We tried to come up with a design now that's more weather resistant, basically.
But you got 3 little segments of level of service LOSS4, right, in there that are like, should be high. Yeah.
The hard part's trying to isolate it to, do we have a pattern there that warrants it? And honestly, with the CMPs, when we started looking at it, it's kind of random, right? We're not seeing, there's a curve or two that's got a few more, but it really doesn't show that they're all there. Yeah, and so our pattern is what we thought was so we didn't chase that.
Thank you for that.
All right, is there a Program West presentation?
It'd be program central.
Central,
And I don't know,
Central,
if anybody joins us,
Central?
is there anybody online? Central program? I'll know Josh and Roland.
Okay,
If not, we'll have them get a report and we'll email it to Dana.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I didn't see either one of them on there.
No, that's fine.
and then, do we have an MMOF, funding update?
This is Medora Bornhoft, and I can give a very brief MMOF update.
Yeah, great, thank you, Medora.
Sure. Okay. So we heard at the top of the meeting from Hannah Marians about the 2 legislative bills that were introduced yesterday, changing the future funding or proposing to change the future funding. So both of those bills we're tracking, as Hannah said, as we have more information, and once the long bill is signed, we're expecting some changes to the local MMOF funding, and we'll be prepared to support you with some guidance after those changes are fully established. So we don't have any changes to bring to you today. You've already awarded your funds through fiscal year 29. And so our approach in the spring, once we know the funding, is to preserve the awards that have been made to the extent possible. Likely the funds would just be brought further out. The awards could be kept whole over a longer time frame. So no major updates, but happy to answer any questions or take questions back to the team.
Any questions, Medora? Thank you for the update.
I did have one question
Yes.
online that Deborah wanted to ask. I don't know, Deborah, do you want me to ask it or do you want to come off mute?
Yeah, it's in regards to exit 203, the construction that's going to be happening this summer. We have been informed that there are a couple different options for diverting traffic to I-70 through that construction area. Some of them are contradictory, depending on who's heard what. Can you elaborate on the plan or direct me to who I might speak to?
Yeah, I don't have that detail. This Jason Smith, Karen's not on, Grant's not on. So yeah, I apologize. We don't have anybody from that area involved with the project on. Okay. But we can definitely get back with you, share that information.
Okay, I can get with Karen and Grant. I just wasn't sure if that was the active contact. Thank you.
Is that Deborah Figueroa or who? Oh,
No,
yeah.
this is Deborah Snyder, the town engineer for Silverthorne.
Okay, yeah, so if I can, I'll get in touch with him as well.
Okay, thank you.
Medora also has an update on active transportation and transit inventory.
Great. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Medora.
Thank you. So CDOT is required to complete an active transportation and transit project inventory. You should have received emails about this over the past couple of months. And today is the deadline for local agencies to submit any projects into this inventory. I will drop the link to our webpage into this chat. And there's information on that webpage. IMTPR already has 77 projects that are eligible for inclusion on this list that we've pulled from your long list for your regional transportation plan. So you're in a good position to have your projects on there. But if there's anything missing, any other projects that you want included on this inventory that you have in a local plan or a regional plan, if they are on the state highway system, and if they are an active transportation or a transit expansion project, they can be submitted for inclusion on this inventory list. Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions on that.
And I did send that out to everybody, I think in February.
Sure.
And to be clear, these are only projects that affect the state highway system, correct?
That is correct. Projects on the state highway system.
All right. Thanks, Medora. Great. Well, I do want to give an opportunity to kind of rifle through everyone here and see if there's any updates from local governments that would be interesting to the rest of the region. So I'm going to start just on the left-hand side of the room and move right, and then we'll go through people online. Yep.
Travis Elliott, Town Parachute. I would share that our MMOF project for design and engineering of First Street, which is Highway 6 through Parachute, is well underway. We surpassed the 60% threshold. Had a great public engagement event earlier this week, actually. It was unanimously approved by council. We're full steam ahead. Based on the updates, we'll be quick to submit some of those reimbursement requests. We do appreciate the support. Yeah, things are going great. Yeah. Thanks.
First out of the gate. Yeah.
A couple of quick updates from Town of Snowmass Village. We have broken ground on a roundabout project on Allen Brush Creek Roads. There will be some closure to Allen Creek Road during that project, expected to take place in August. But our main artery into town, Brush Creek, will remain open throughout the whole project. And then talking about a transit center in Snowmass Village. If you've been here for years, you've heard about it many times. We are going to council this month to discuss some modest improvements at the Rapid Depot that we're hoping that we have enough support to sort of move forward with really more infrastructure improvement and maintenance than a major combined transit center like y'all have seen, but something to move the needle forward.
Trisha Aragon, City of Aspen. We are going through our reevaluation of the preferred alternatives for the entrance to Aspen. It's originally it was supposed to be a 15-month project. I think it's more than that, about 5 months into that.
Great, thank you. Steve.
We are constructing a regional transit center, probably the largest public works project wrapped in its history. And it was a master plan to do phase projects. We will have all the phases done as far as I already done the tea leaves by 2028.
Wow, great, thank you.
Nothing's going on in Carbondale.
Come on.
We built pedestrian infrastructure crossings on 133 we built. Nothing big.
There's water in the new swimming pool.
We got a new swimming pool, so come visit. You need your day user fees on our fundraising efforts. So yeah.
All right. And down here.
I'd just say in Eagle, we're big focus on what we call Grand Avenue, which is the old Highway 6 that got devolved. We've been working on design for that for several years, just about to get council approval for construction drawing preparation of the first phase, which will be about 1/4 of that project. Like CDOT, we are designing things that we don't have construction funding for entirely. That one, the first one, we might actually be able to fund, but that's our big focus on transportation projects right now.
Town of Gypsum's working real hard on the airport interchange project. We had a 1601 kickoff with CDOT, which starts the formal interchange approval process. This project had been around for 20 years, and now the town of Gypsum's taking it over. So had some great kickoff meetings with the feds and the CDOT. So we report on that. It's going to be about 3 years worth of deeper reevaluation, kind of same with the city of Aspen. But reeval work,
design work, specific railroad coordination. So looking forward to getting the ball rolling on that one.
Our project for construction this year is would be the south side of Altaville Road intersection with 82. Partnership with RAFTA to realign Valley Road to provide more queuing distance from the signal away from the intersection. And because of the realignment, it opens up some room for additional RAFTA parking for the parking right there. So, that should be starting in the next couple of weeks.
Will that impact traffic on 82 then?
Not on 82.
So nothing there. No
Yeah,
delay.
there will be some closures for local traffic.
Okay.
Is there any discussion about any additional improvements or any improvements at all to Blue Hill now that that's kind of faded away?
We do have some funding that was earmarked that we're going to use for survey, geotechnical exploration, things like that. Will have information, but no additional design work or funding for. When we did do some preliminary design, that was like a $50 million project. So I think there's other priorities in the county right now. But continue to work on some of the smaller projects through Road and Bridge, and then, like I said, starting to see if there's some phases or just smaller improvements we can make to Blue Hill in the meantime. Until the next closure, if they can.
Yeah, no kidding.
It becomes a priority again.
Tom Caswell, Town of Vale. So we are continuing working on design of the Vale Transportation Center expansion project, which is a highly rated project for this TPR. We are moving forward with that preliminary design with MOF dollars from the previous round. And thank you to the TPR for writing a support letter for build grant application. We'll see what happens, but if we do get that, we could see first phase move forward potentially quickly. Working on a bunch of other pedestrian improvement design projects, and we are also looking at significantly enhancing our increasing frequency and routes and our transit, potentially as early as this summer based on the SB 230 transit enhancement grant funding, formal funding. So we're trying to push to get that CDOT agreement signed so we can hire some bus drivers.
Yeah, Lone Springs, a couple things. So with an MMOF grant between West Lone and Glenwood on that piece that devolved 6 and 24, new shared use path, bike path that we're reconstructing, falling apart asphalt and then some drainage, curb and gutter. We have designed and probably implement next year a roundabout in West Wilson in Midland. It's kind of off the line of, let's say, I-70 and whatnot, but a major transit route that experiencing heavy traffic, kind of been just down the hill from where RAFT is building their facilities. So maybe get that done while they're making a big mess. We can make our own mess. Other thing in Glenwood, Southbridge is still cooking along in various forms. We'll see where it goes. We're looking to maybe go up to bid later this summer. We're having some significant headwinds kind of on the permitting side with Garfield County, going through some right-of-way stuff, but we'll see how that goes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Rob Hanna from Garfield County, nothing to report today.
Okay, Rob.
Summit County, two quick things. One, we're building a bus barn, and once we got the concrete up, the feds decided that we didn't deserve the third $7 million that they were going to give us. I ended up reaching out to Michael Bennett, and he pinned down Sean Duffy and got the money released.
Wow.
Turned out Sean Duffy wrote buses in Summit County in his youth, so he thought it wouldn't be great if he stopped us from building a bus barn.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow.
And then we are doing the second half of our Swan Mountain paving, and we've decided to close the road for 14-week period in order to do it in one fell swoop, safety. It saves us a considerable amount of money in traffic. And I think one of the reasons I really wanted to bring this up, one of the things we've talked about quite a bit is the potential fire season and evacuation routes. and planning with contractors today for how we can close a construction site and open it back up for ingress egress for either equipment or people. And I think that's a really important thing for all of us to think about this summer. So,
Good point.
Hi, Tom Breckenridge. Construction will be ongoing throughout the town on the highway system, but it is all access projects by private developers. They round about coming in at Frenchton State Highway 9. There's some curb ramp for Ski Hill Road. For design, I'm working through some MMOF funding for some pedestrian overpasses for our Blue River Corridor project. And that has been great. I think those funds are secured, hopefully. And then we are working closely to see that for their 2020.
Thank you. You want to roll through people online, Dana?
Sure. Do folks online have updates? Town of Silverthorne.
No updates, just an introduction. I'm Greg Camp, the new town manager, and look forward to meeting you all in person. That's it.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay, thank you.
Minturn, are you still on?
I am, but we don't have any updates.
Okay. How about Lake County?
No specific updates other than continued culvert replacement out by the golf course and, struggling with some resurfacing of our county roads and the cost of that. So, to the frustration of all of our citizens.
Tanya with Core.
No specific updates beyond transition to our new summer schedule on the 12th.
Excellent. Town of Silt.
No big updates.
I think we lost you, Jim.
Pedestrian bridge at 7th Street, which would cover the interchange as well. We are going to Washington in a couple of weeks to do some lobbying, hopefully to shake some money loose for Western Slope from the current administration.
Who else is on here? Copper. Did I see Copper? Yeah, Graham.
Thanks. No updates.
Okay. Anyone I missed online that has an update? Oh, someone just raised their hand. Whoever it is, just go ahead.
Jason Light.
Oh, there's Jason.
Hi, everyone. Jason with Rapta. Just a quick update that Rapta will have 19 battery electric buses in service if all stars align over the next couple months, I'll just say. Gillig BEBs, and we're hopeful that the extended range is going to be a lot more considerable than our new flyers. And then I also just wanted to say that it's been a pleasure working with Brian. I think I've been working with Brian since 2006 on different projects, and I appreciate his integrity, and he has a great smile. And I look forward to hearing about his mysteries of life that he's going to be exploring at Fat Tie or Mountain Fair in Carbondale.
Nice.
Yeah, that's where you see the unseen. It's a Mountain Fair.
Yes, you do.
Just a couple quick updates from Pickney County. We are designing through our grant program, highway safety grant, the first Michigan left in the state of Colorado. So we will be installing that on Highway 2 next year. It's under design right now to try to make an intersection safer, where we've had actually some fatalities and some real safety problems.
What's the Michigan left?
Good question. A Michigan left is basically where you drive by the turn you want to make to make a left, and you do a U-turn about a half mile up the road, you merge back into traffic, and you take a right-hand turn. So it's eliminating as we all know, a dangerous left-hand turn on an expressway.
So just normal tourist driving.
It's funny you say that because people would do that. People would drive up, they'd take basically a crossover that wasn't designated for that and pull right into traffic rather than have a safe merge. So that's the intent of what it's called.
Roundabout without the round.
It's a roundabout without the round.
Michigan lefts are the best. I grew up in Michigan, and on the east side of the state, they have them, not on the west side. But they're very efficient.
I think it's proven safety improvement. So we look forward to building that.
I'll add,
Have you
that
seen
the
some
traffic
houses?
had gotten, so
Wow, I haven't lived there in 20 years, so.
if you've driven the road, you know it's not just a left turn. The traffic had gotten so far backed up from that turn that it was going into the left lane of the Highway 82.
Yeah.
It was a major safety concern for multiple different directions. So
exactly. I have to commend CDOT and Region 3 folks that they were outstanding in helping us get that grant and helping us with design now. So thank you, CDOT. The other thing that actually the county's building is on the Clear Pass that'll start this summer is underpass under Highway 133 that will help facilitate the Carbondale to Crested Butte Trail. So that underpass will start this summer and be completed. So, two updates I have. With that, we're right at noon. So
That last meeting, we're so
yeah,
efficient.
the final gavel. So thank you all for everything. Thanks for showing up.
Thanks, everybody online.
We're gonna have a big fancy cake with Brian's face on